It is the year 3063 and the Taurian Concordat is marching to war. Just 3 years prior, the figurehead of the nation, Geoffrey Calderon, was taken hostage and killed on Christmas Eve by rebellious colonial forces. As one of the youngest protectors of the Taurian Concordat in recorded history, and with no apparent heir to pass the mantle to, the title was awarded to the former planetary governor, Grover Schraplin. Believing that the Federated Sons were responsible for the death of the former protector, Schraplin made deals with the Capellans. Part of his end of the deal meant contributing men and material to Capellan war efforts, raising new units from planetary militias and sending them into Capellan front lines left the Taurian homeworlds weakened. As such, the Taurian Defense Force approved the contracting of mercenary groups to guard targets deemed of minor importance. It is here, on the backwater planet of Orkney 3, that the mercenary organization Polaris Security Solutions found their employment. The pay was not especially lucrative, but the weary mercenaries were eager to deploy to a posting far from the front lines of the FedCom Civil War. With ties to both realms, but no lost love for the leaders of either the Lyrans or the Davians, getting out and letting the Royals duke it out seemed the most prudent course of action. Little did they know that their backwater garrison contract would end up being a fight for their very survival. Split across the planet's surface, Able Company's battle mechs make their patrols, while the motor pools of Baker Company undergo routine maintenance. While patrolling the outskirts of Eystin City, Omega Lance was informed of hostile battle mechs firing upon the planetary garrison units. They moved to intercept this unknown force at the city limits. Omega Lance is comprised of regular pilots. They have seen combat before, but are not the grizzled veterans that are the result of decades at the controls. Not much is known about the hostile force. They are painted to match the surrounding marsh, so it's obvious that some level of planning went into this attack. On the city outskirts, both sides utilize the abandoned infrastructure for cover, waiting to see who makes the first move. An exchange of fire takes place as soon as the mercenaries break cover, with PPCs crisscrossing the battlefield. A Centurion squares up with the mercenaries' Lance's Staff Sergeant John Byrant, and the two trade fire. A lucky critical hit from the invader wrecks an actuator, dropping the Star Slayer to the mud. The Vindicator, piloted by Sergeant Kaya Whaley, positions itself in the middle of the street to block invaders from moving up to the downed Star Slayer. Luckily, Byron is able to regain his footing as the Griffin pilot Drew Trussell backs up Whaley. Careful shooting over the Vindicator's shoulder lays the invaders low, causing them to fall back into cover. Cover is no obstacle for a skilled Griffin pilot, however. Leaping to the rooftops with the assistance of jump jets, both Trussell and Byron claim the high ground and rain retribution down upon their attackers, pushing them further out of the city's confines. Having lost all armor covering the vulnerable engine housing, the Centurion makes a hasty retreat, only to be confronted by Sergeant Major Rowan Benson's Ossol, who has spent the entire match making a flanking maneuver. The Ossol nearly finishes off the Centurion, but it manages to escape into the surrounding terrain. Rather than pursuing, Benson instead pressures the enemy dervish, pressing behind it. With constant firing raining from the high ground, and pressure moving up from the flank, the invaders decide to quit the field and move at maximum speed into the surrounding hinterlands, disappearing into the immense jungles. The mercenaries control the battlefield for now. Unable to pursue with a damaged actuator, the Lance awaits a rapid field refit of the damaged Star Slayer. Utilizing hovercraft from Theta Lance, the mercenaries tracked the hostiles' path of exfiltration, leading deeper into uncharted territory. When a Whirlwind scout fails to report back or answer attempts at communication, there is only one explanation. The battle will continue.